It's 2023, but we're unpacking some of the top causes of security clearance denial and revocation in 2022 over at ClearanceJobs.com. Hi, this is Lenny Kaiser from ClearanceJobs. Every year, the Defense Office of Hearings and Appeals releases their cases that have been presented before the court. We unpack a lot of those over at ClearanceJobs and over at ClearanceJobsblog.com. It's really a great example of government transparency and insight into the security clearance denials and revocations process. A lot of it can really honestly be reassuring to applicants to see the issues that can be mitigated and provide real-time insight into how individuals did mitigate those issues. But within that, it's able to also give us a glimpse into the top causes of denial and revocation based on the 13 adjudicative guidelines. So it's really great for security clearance applicants to know what they're coming up against when it comes to the security clearance application process and the adjudication process. There are a few issues that far and above cause the most security clearance denials and revocations every year without fail. And 2022 figures once again showed that for the Department of Defense. And those were financial issues, personal conduct, and what can sometimes fluctuate. So what we're seeing in the top three this time is drug involvement issues. I can think that's just widely caused by the prevalence of marijuana, specifically across the nation, and the legalization of marijuana at the state level. There has been a ton of communication through the Office of the Director of National Intelligence about how drug use is still illegal at the federal level. As long as it is illegal at the federal level, you cannot be a drug user while holding a security clearance. Despite that verbiage, we still see drug issues come up for applicants, and I think a rising tide or wave, as it were, of folks who are getting tripped up by those drug issues, and it is just due to the fact of consuming or obtaining or participating with drugs after already obtaining a security clearance. Financial issues, we talk a ton about that over at ClearanceJobs. Really being proactive is the key. It's not a certain type of debt that's going to give you the most issues. It is unaddressed or unresolved debt. So if you go into a security clearance application with a lot of delinquencies, with unpaid debts, and without a plan to address them, you are going to have issues. Unpaid taxes, unpaid student loans that aren't related to specific deferments from the past couple of years, but a pattern of behavior is really what the government is interested in. That also ties into personal conduct, which is the IC generally reports personal conduct as their number one cause of denial and revocation. That's because so many issues can be uncovered in the course of a polygraph, which is more prevalent in the IC applications. And the personal conduct issue often comes down to lying on the SF-86 or some general untrustworthiness pattern of behavior related to, again, personal conduct, pretty wide, but a specific example of that is frequently lying on the SF-86. Not only is that criminal behavior, but it can certainly obviously cost your clearance eligibility. So another article that was published on ClearanceJobs just yesterday actually talks about what to do if you have information on the SF-86 that isn't accurate. So this is kind of a good reminder that if that's the case for you, you definitely want to address that and be proactive. So top causes of clearance denial and revocation last year were number one, finances, number two, personal conduct, and number three, drug involvement issues. Behind that, we have criminal conduct issues, sexual behavior issues also came up. So we'll talk about more of those issues over at ClearanceJobs, and you can read the full article on it. But moral of the story is get your finances in order, don't lie on the SF-86, and don't do drugs. You have a pretty good chance of obtaining a security clearance. So for more on all of those, visit us over at ClearanceJobs.com.